Hello everybody, Mr. Moo here in the cockpit, here in Elite Dangerous, here in... Where the hell are we? Alex, galaxy map.
Stellar cartography.
You?
You're welcome.
We are in the... Oh yeah, we're over here, in the Asserts sector. And big news here in the world of Elite Dangerous. Hyperdictions are now occurring in the bubble. And apparently in very close to the Negalia system, which is actually a little close to home. Curiosity killed the cat in dozens of bizarre circumstances. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So, some changes here. Going with some new streaming software. Got the Streamlabs OBS. Yes, that's right. I've got a bunch of slobs running my stream now. Not that, you should notice any difference there. Let's see here. Before we get underway, though, a shout out to the new followers. Zipped Freak, thank you so much. Taste the North has followed. I've tasted the North. Tastes cold. GapX, thank you so much for the follow. Professor Fungal Whore, Fox14 NCP, thank you for the follow. Minerman L has followed, and thank you so much for 5679849, thank you for the follow. I was going to say, well, that's just Prime, but did some looking and no, that's not actually Prime. But either way, thank you so much for the follow. Curiosity did kill the cats, but I've got an idea. Speaking of, I've got a Hank at my feet, a Yuki in my, well, a Yuki at my arm, who is also at arm's length from a Hank. Two of them have been a little fighty this morning. And Alex in my ears, a song in my heart, yada 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 blah blah blah. Let's go find a nebula. Fortunately, I've got one already mapped out. Unfortunately, it's still 78 jumps away, so... less yakking, more flying. Hope everybody had a good weekend. It's Monday. Yep, it's Monday. Happy New Year, everybody who may not have tuned in recently, but yeah, it's one of those things too, which usually to me just means that I have trouble remembering what to write down on all the forms that need a signing and a dating. System map.
System cartography.
Exciting here, moving on. So I gotta tell you, I'm not sure where to go here. Hardcore, thank you so much for that Twitch Prime subscription. Well, you're now a plank owner. And no 7 to you too, Commander. So, like I was saying, I had an idea. I was thinking, hey, let's sprint to Beagle Point. And then I was looking like, Beagle Point, oh man. Kind of like Everest. Now it's just short of gift shop. So I was looking for something a little bit more technical. Something a little bit more like K2 to Beagle Point's Everest. And thank you so much for the host as well, Hardcore. So yeah, I was wondering, what's a little bit more technically oriented than Beagle Point? Well, I got to thinking about it, and I thought the Tenebris, which on EDSM is the section to the Galactic East. But then, I got to seeing about reports of Thargoid interdictions in the bubble. And then I knew things were going to be heating up pretty good. So of course I'm still flying away from the bubble, but only just. We're actually going to start making our way back towards the bubble here before too long. But first, I wanted to have a look at this nebula out here, because I got suddenly curious, and it didn't look like anybody had scanned this place for Guardian ruins. Well, the Guardians like nebulas, and the Guardians have certainly ranged out a lot further than humans have. So I figured, hey, let's go have a look. And that's how I ended up here in, well, as they'd say in the old Troops show, The ass end of space. And if you haven't seen Troops, if you're new to the internet, if you're new to that old chestnut, go give it a look. Beautifully executed old Star Wars fan film. Basically the old Fox Cops show, except done with stormtroopers. All suspects are guilty. Period. Otherwise, they wouldn't be suspects. Oh, a star and a star. Got it. Moving on.
Fuel scooping complete.
What else has been going on? Let's see. Well, the third wave of stations got hit. You knew that one. Frontier hinted towards a series of ships, not just the Crate and the Type 10 and the Chieftain, but an actual series of ships coming out this year. That's interestingly vague. But, you know Frontier, they like being vague as some kind of vague thing. Just so hardcore. Nah, I'm cool with Jawas, as long as they keep their hands off my T-16. So maybe they weren't using the Fargo accent for that. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But no, they had the stormtroopers using the kind of the Great White Norton. I like the small town feeling you get around here. I mean, we know everybody. Everybody. And seeing it now, looks like I did make a little bit of a mission there. Looks like I forgot to put chat up on the with the new software, but hey, why? Let's try it without and see what happens. I'll do my best to repeat anything that I'm responding to, so. Though I don't look nearly as good as Sigourney Weaver did in Galaxy Quest when she was repeating the computer. But for the benefit of YouTube viewers, I'll keep the dialogue running here. And if you're watching this on Twitch, well, you can just activate the sidebar. It's recording the conversation anyway. Hardcore got your Python a couple of days ago. Isn't it a wonderful little ship? System map.
System map.
Greatest little ship in the universe. System map. Yep.
System map.
One look over here, just kind of curious. Nope. Resume course.
System destination locked.
El Danny, hey there. Yep, Python, real jack of all trades. Doesn't yaw as well as the T7, otherwise it's a breath of fresh air. Well, the T7, I mean, it's got so much space to put lateral thrusters. You know, what with being a brick. It's nice being able to land on outposts. You're not wrong. That little thing is a go-anywhere machine. And yes, Eldani, sorry, didn't spot that. The new series of ships is probably Alliance vessels.
Fuel scooping complete.
Oh, we are out here in the nowhere, aren't we? There's only one system showing up on my nav panel for moving on to the next system. Yeah, the new series is probably Alliance vessels, but it's entirely possible there's other stuff being generated. Maybe Aegis-only ships, I don't know.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System cartography.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
What's the betting the new top-tier trading ship will be rank-locked at the top of Alliance ships? How do you even rank-lock the Alliance? I mean, all you do is get a series of permits here and there. That's more on an individual system basis than anything. Also got an Aspects, managed to plow it into a T-Tory trying to scoop. Forgot you couldn't scoop those. And that is why I hate T-Tories. The Icarus. Appropriate. Thematic. Flammable.
Fuel scooping.
Probably be introduced once the ships launch. You know, I'm not entirely sure. System map.
System map.
That would be a whole different... Boy, that would require a whole rethinking, wouldn't it now? Got here. Waterworld. Well, let's go have a look. If that's true, if that's the case that they decide to rejigger the entire Alliance rank system, by which I mean introduce an Alliance rank system, landing in Aspects is going to take some practice. Yes, the Asp Explorer has bottle rockets for retro thrusters. Did I get a scan? I did not get a scan. Horizon Lights. Had my first run-in with Thargoids outside Obsidian Orbital yesterday. Needless to say, I was quite nervous in my DBX with no hard points and Class 2 shields. Well, did you come out of it okay? I'm assuming you did. I'm hoping you did, but you know what they say. And hardcore, it's like trying to land on a floating sea dock every time. Yeah. Yep, that's the one thing I would fix about an Asp Explorer, and that is the retros. You know, so it actually has some. Let's see here. 0.7 G, 360 Kelvin, that's not bad. 9.4 atmospheres, that's not good. 65.2% nitrogen, 30% argon, 2.4% water. Probably not habitable. Well, don't quote me on. They've made some really interesting terraformables before. The views are great, it's true. Resume course?
Selecting next destination.
Though for the poor SOB sitting in the seat below the cockpit, Meow was able to do some exploration over the weekend, and I flew shotgun with her. I did the observations and listening in on... She flew the ship and made sure it scooped up gas, and I did the listening on the system map to figure out what planets were what. It worked out well, but the view in the second seat ain't all that great. Horizon Lights. Fortunately, yes, scanned me and ran off. Well, congratulations on the surviving your hyperdiction. Sounds like we're all going to get a lot more experience with those in the coming days, weeks, months, whatever. If the Thargoids are starting to foray into the bubble, things are about to get very, very interesting.
Fuel scooping complete.
Oh, hi there. Hello, friend. Let's you and me have a little sensor to sensor here. Earth-like. Passenger missions do help with increasing your superpower rank. At least as far as I know, if you run missions for a power that's aligned with a superpower, you make the mission upgrades, or the rank updates.
Ding, ding, ding.
Well, Danny, thank you so much for that subscription. Welcome to the crew. Well, welcome to being a plank owner. Guess a good thing I'm heading back to the bubble. And I'm gonna go Star Trekking past again. That's what I get for reading chat instead of reading my gauges. Alright, kids, don't fly distracted. Don't text while flying. You know, the usual. On the other hand, if I crash into the planet at Mach, oh my god, at least it's an Earth-like and I'd have a place to stay. Earth-like world. Alright, let's see. Well, let's get the other planet here while we're... That's a water world. System map.
System cartography.
Let's see here. Earth-like, 1.63 G. Okay, you get your cardio in, just getting out of bed. 0.75 atmospheres, iron magma, 73.2% nitrogen, 22.9 oxygen, 3.7 water. That ain't bad. That'll fly. What we got here? Terraforming candidate. Okay, so we got an Earth-like and we got a terraformable. Let's see what this one is, just out of curiosity. Outdoor world. Speaking of Star Trekking, just watched some videos on Star Trek Bridge Crew, and I'm seriously thinking of getting a PSVR set up for that. I've got it. It's fun. You may not need a PSVR setup. They're talking about bringing it over to the 2D screen. Unless you want a VR setup for it, in which case, go right ahead. But they are converting it to 2D, and you'll be able to interact with those that play in VR. Outdoor world, because Jupiter is indoors. Well, you know, you don't want to step outside on Jupiter. One, it's a long... that first step is a doozy. And second, you know, instant death. This, you may only get partial death. Gradual death. Slightly accelerated from normal death. Jupiter, that's greatly accelerated from normal death. Alright, no terraforming prospects there. Now, you know, just because I think I'm going to go back and get the scan on that one. Just to at least complete the first stage here. All the planets around the A-star. And no, hardcore. You're still at midshipman after a week. I mean, my Federation reputation, okay, it's on the way down. But that's because I haven't been doing a Federation missions because I've been out here for so long. But after your rank gets up to 100%, it's all down to RNG as to when you get the next promotion opportunity. But as far as missions go, if you're doing missions for somebody that has that Federation insignia next to their faction name, you should be getting Federation rank. I mean, whether you're donating cash or hauling goods or hauling passengers, it all ought to work the same. Alright, let's try not to go zooming past this one, if we can. We're gonna go zooming past this one. But we're gonna get the scan on it. Alright, and let's wrap up with the star here. Eldani says the best way to rank, find 2 neighboring systems controlled by the feds, do missions between them, and donate whenever possible. That's a good way. Another good way is if you do a lot of exploration, to turn that data in at a station that is owned by a Federation allied faction. So what do we got on this final world? Not terraformable. Probably something to do with that 1400 Kelvin surface temperature, but what do I know? Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
Yeah, a good way to get federal rank that way would be like Sothis and Seos, where you just keep doing data missions in between the two factions. Exploration data only builds local rep with the individual small faction, I believe. Oh, alright. May have to put that one to the test. Fortunately, well, no. Because, the Errantry Alliance is not allied with the Federation, but I want to give this data over to them. Decisions... Well, okay, we'll turn in one bunch of data with a Federal Allied station somewhere. I guess what I'm trying to say is we've got some room for experimentation here. Just not anytime especially soon unless I really cannonball it back to the bubble. Which I may end up doing, actually. You're excited. I'm excited to see how much money my data is worth. Because I do know, I am almost 99% sure. Almost 99, so I guess I'm 98% sure. That if you do bounties, bounty hunting in the rings of whatever system, and you turn in at a station that is allied with a major power, that also boosts your rep. Now that may only be because you get, you know, Federation or Empire or whatever bounties as well, so... Now I'm double curious. Also curious what Hank finds so interesting underneath this seat. But he is a cat, inscrutable in his ways. Well, crap. Laptop finally crapped out midstream. Sorry to hear that, Orion. Can it be... Is there any way it can be resuscitated? Or is it pretty much dead, Jim?
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System cartography.
Fuel scooping complete.
Have you tried turning it off and on again? You know... Oh, now I remember the Venture Brothers episode where they are up on the space station with the trouble light. Hank and Dean, it's on, it's off, it's on, it's off. That's called blinking, boys. It won't turn off. That's an interesting dilemma. That's a unique complaint.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Oh. Black screen after the screen looked like it had a Thargoid probe go off. Yeah, you may want to consult a doctor with that one. Just watched the episode of TNG called Skin of Evil, and it hurt. It's been 30 years. I'm pretty sure that one is exempt from... that one, the statute of limitations on spoilers has passed. I'm getting abducted, I think I see on the other side. Well, shoot. Take care.
Fuel scooping.
And yeah, Eldani, I know the episode of which you speak, and yeah. That's a hard one to watch. Now, I guess, since you're watching TNG, I'm not going to be able to give many spoilers there, so... Fair enough. Don't follow the White Rabbit. Yeah. Follow Eldani's advice there, Orion. Don't follow the White Rabbit. Or do, and then you'll end up being the one. Unless, of course, a strange, funny little man named Zathras says you are not the one. Kobo the Fox, hey there! O7 Commander, how are you doing this, well, it's Monday. How are you faring, and hope you had a good weekend? Well, it's a whole lot of mediocre. All good all good here. How's things with you? Well, and Orion, Thargoids have rabbits on Amoni-based worlds. I don't even want to know what a Thargoid rabbit looks like. It'd probably have like 12 ears and 8 feet and screech when you looked at it. As for Kobo, yeah, how are things here? Things are damp but sunny. No horrible blizzard conditions, nothing flooded, and the ears spin, that's right. And like we were theorizing earlier, I think the Thargoids are just the most pissed off ceiling fan in galactic history. Guardians were trying to build something they built in IKEA and ended up with, like, Thargoid. Gotta add plenty of umlauts, but yeah, you basically end up with Thargoids. Actually, that reminds me of an old Onion article. United States decides to look more, look tougher, look more metal by adding umlauts. So now they are the United States.
Fuel scooping.
So welcome to Random Monday. I'm your host, Mr. Moo. Enjoy the stay. System map.
Fuel
System map.
complete.
Not heading towards Beagle Point. I got news, well, actually I just saw Obsidian Ant's video, that they were starting to get Thargoid interdictions, hyperdictions in the bubble. And at the same time, I was kind of thinking, do I really want to go all the way to Beagle Point? I mean, I can, but do I want to go there just for, just for the badge on EDSM, or do I want to go someplace a little bit different? So I ended up taking a sharp turn and heading towards Galactic East, towards a region called the Tenebris, which is very, very unexplored, and also kind of like K2 versus Everest. If Beagle Point is like Everest, the Tenebris and those regions out on the rim out there are kind of like K2 in that they are a lot more technically challenging. And then I got word of the Thargoid hyperdictions in the bubble and decided against either one, although we are still heading towards the rim right now because we are heading towards a nebula. Got kind of curious and decided, hey, let's scan this place for... Orion, fun fact, Narford's 100 light years away from where the hyperdictions are. Yeah, fun. Nell Danny, do you remember the name of anyone who climbed K2? No, I don't. I also don't remember the name of anybody else that climbed Everest after, Hillary. Hillary and Norgay.
Fuel scooping.
But there are... Oh, Vertex. Hey, Moo, just wanted to drop by, say hello. Streaming Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl at the moment. Hopefully you'll still be on when I'm finished. Well, best of luck to you. Never played it. So yeah, well, I'm heading towards a nebula because I've been checking out the Canon research page. And it talks about how Guardian sites are available there. Well, they're often found in nebulas. Check the Canon site, and it doesn't look like there have been any scans in this region for Guardian sites in the nebulas, at least nothing I can find. So I figured, hey, it's only 4,000 light years, why not? So we're heading out that way to see what we can see. They've got a nice little link here, Canon Research, on kind of the criteria to finding Guardian ruins, the systems they seem to pop up in.
Fuel scooping complete.
System map.
System map.
Okay, are you Waterworld? Nope. Resume course.
Locking next star system.
So yeah, some of the criteria, typically, let's see here, in and near nebula, typically found on rocky or high metal content worlds, surface temperature between 180 and 310 Kelvin, planetary radius between 1,000 and 3,000 kilometers. See here, brain trees found in systems with ruins in the area. Often the planet will be binary with a companion. Systems often contain large numbers of bodies, often multiple stars and dwarf stars, although not always. And Guardian ruins will show in the HUD from across the star system. from more than 1,000 light seconds if the ship is pointed at a planet without targeting the planet. So, some interesting things there, and sounds kind of fun. At the very least, we'll narrow down some of their, what do I want to say? Colonized area, habitation zone. The fact that there are Guardian ruins scattered damn near from the rim to the core.
Fuel scooping.
Well, why not stop there? I wonder if they've actually moved beyond the core a little ways.
Fuel scooping complete.
The one problem is, now we got 54 jumps to get there. Then again, we started off with 80, so we're eating up the miles. I wonder how the sites give off that big of a signature. Given that those things are a combination necropolis and server farm, there must be some kind of underground power cell that's still powering those obelisks.
Fuel scooping.
Some kind of generator, some kind of something. Energy storage, maybe it's geothermal, I don't know.
Fuel scooping complete.
System map.
System cartography.
We know they were advanced, so there must be something our sensors are latching onto. Maybe it's just good old-fashioned radio. Be cool if they let's see here. Bobo the Fox says, it'd be cool if they added an engineer or something at one of the sites and started excavating. That would be neat. Ram Ta would be the logical choice.
Fuel scooping complete.
System map.
System map.
That's right here. No, Ram Ta would be the logical choice, I think. System map.
System cartography.
What have we got here? 3.2 G, 4600 Kelvin, 59,000 atmospheres. And the atmosphere is 97.6 rock and 2.4% CO2. Yeah, but it's a dry hell. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
Driving your SRV around a partially uncovered Guardian site. That'd be neat. No doubt about it. I forget the name of the ship, but one of Ram Ta's rivals actually went out in a megaship. Just absolutely obsessed with Guardian sites. And another one of those doomed megaships that you find.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System map.
Oh, Guardian sites similar to the Thargoid sites. That would be neat. Or... nope. Well, who's to say? Maybe they will find something. I mean, they've said in the past that, you know, like, what was that transmission? The site is awake. I think observing a Thargoid site, we get some message beacon that said, the site is awake. Howdy, Hank. Yeah, if we found a Guardian site that, quote-unquote, woke up... Boy, I don't know whether to send in the archaeologists or send in the Marines.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System cartography.
Eldani feels very Prothean-y. Yeah, Mass Effect Protheans, yeah, I figured. Though at the same time, also a little Prometheus-y. Oh, linguistically, I just cringe saying that, but... What did you mean by doomed megaships? Well, they found a few deep space... Some of the megaships from the generation ships. They found a few of those. But it just seems like any megaship that's usually found out there in the deep dark is... Something has gone horribly wrong with it. The Zurara, out in the Formidine Rift, is one. This one, I can't remember the name of it, but if you look up Professor Melville and Megaship, you ought to see something.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping.
System map.
System map.
But all of the generation ships that have been encountered so far have either been absolute failures, horrible failures, or some qualified kind of sort of success, but not without great cost. I think there was one megaship that the crew went mad from a signal that was beamed to them from another world that they passed, and it drove the entire crew mad, and they all ended up murdering each other. Something straight out of, Well, the comms were apparently broadcasting something straight out of Event Horizon. How cool would it be to stumble upon a successful colony from one of the generation ships? That would be neat. Though I'm not sure how... let's not... Okay. I'm trying to think if there's any possibility that they could have made it past the bubble. Or past 1,000 light years, because the earliest ones launched like 1,000 years prior. Maybe a little bit more. So traveling under the speed of light, they couldn't have gotten more than 1,000 light years away. Unless they were actually going out on super cruise drives. Which I'm not sure they did, because Super Cruise was only developed in around, what, 3290? Unless there was some analog back then. But no, the Pilots Federation and various governments have some very, very strict rules about interacting with generation ships. At least active ones. If you were to interact with a generation ship without approval, the punishment is you get your ship taken away and you get marooned on some rock. They've got contact protocols for this, first contact level stuff, because basically they don't want you to mess with it's a sociological and psychological treasure trove. And one that could be very, very fragile indeed if you were to go about interacting with them in the wrong way. I mean, think about it. You've got a generation ship. You've been on this ship for, as the name implies, quite a while. You've been working on this ship since, you know, You know, in doing your father's job, and his father's job, and his father's job. You've been working on this ship. You know, people have been slaving and toiling and whatever, trying to get this thing to go, get to that promised land that their ancestors never got to see, but by God, they're going to see it. The ship ends up setting down on really creaky old chemical drives. Finally lands. Hey, we've made it. We're out here. We are the first humans to set foot on this place. This is what our entire, our lives and everybody else's lives have been centered on. You land, and there's some clown in a Sidewinder sitting right there going, hey, neat looking ship you got there. A little beat up. If you need a hand fixing it, the nearest starport's about 100 clicks north of here. I think they got a big enough landing pad. Well, imagine the shock waves that would go through a society like that. Well, hello there. We'll have a look at this water world. Too. Okay, it's another water world, but first discovery by some guy shows up on their screens. Oh, yeah. Except even worse. I do know that there was actually one of those generation ships got set upon by pirates. And the first officer ended up betraying them because the pirates promised him a Sidewinder. Just some little hyperspace-capable ship. Suddenly, instead of needing a multi-generational ship to traverse the distance, you could do it in just a little one-man, 15-meter ship. The crew had basically locked themselves in the Jeffries tubes in the engineering spaces and managed to keep the pirates at bay, right up until the first officer said, hey, you're offering me my own private starship? Okay, here's all the unlock codes. Now, I know I had my throttle set up in the smart setting, but no, we're going to go zooming past this one too. Fair deal, all things considered, from Orion, and Kobo says, kinda hope the pirates blew him up in it. Either way, fair. Fair. Well, no, not fair in case of, I don't know. Just another day in the life in a pretty uncaring universe. Alright, what's our data say here? Terrestrial water world, terrestrial water world. 0.6 G, 0.05 atmospheres. You're going to have to thicken the atmosphere and warm it up a little bit. 80% oxygen. That's interesting. Eldani, gonna duck out once more. More regular once my new HOTUS shows up. Currently taking a break from Elite until it arrives. Take care, Eldani. Talk to you later. Imagine his face when we realized he could have gotten more out of the deal than a Sidewinder. Well, he could fly... If assuming the pirates let him live, which is a whole lot of if coming off of that plan, then, yeah, he could have gone anywhere else. I mean, he was still in the bubble. Resume course.
Selecting next system en route.
So here, I'm trying to think. Another one of the generation ships ran into trouble where they were doing a geological survey on an asteroid, and one of the geologists had his suit breached. And he ended up contracting some kind of... something from the breach in the rock shard, the rock chunk that cut up his leg. And it ended up becoming some... Excuse me, water time. Ended up becoming some kind of plague that spread throughout the ship.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System cartography.
Depends if the pirates gave him a Sidewinder with cargo. Well, you always just find a mission somewhere. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
See, another ship that ran into trouble because the drives were somehow stuck on. The ship couldn't stop. You are correct, Orion. The plague left no survivors. Another ship, the drives were stuck on and they couldn't actually slow down. So one of the engineers on the ship got the idea to manually eject everybody while he stayed behind. They actually, according to his logs, they soft landed on the planet they were going for. He just kept on going. Resume course.
Locking next star system.
Here, another one got taken over by some kind of doomsday cult. Worshipped a young child who didn't quite know any better.
Frameshift drive operating.
Right up until he got the realization, oh yeah, I'm a god, but didn't know much about, you know, things like
Activated.
explosive decompression. So he ended up ordering his followers to vent the ship. And they did. Yeah, that engineer, he was a hero. And there was one more generation ship that I can think of off the top of my head that, some kind of, well, sci-fi cosmic rays here, did something to alter the crew. Some kind of radiation, whatever it was, some kind of whatever. But the crew couldn't, nobody else, all the children born on board the ship were male. And there was no genetic engineering tools on board because the ship had launched at kind of an iffy time for that.
Fuel scooping complete.
So there was nothing to, if I remember right, there was nothing there to help the reproductive crisis. Some say he was the first person to Beagle Point. Unfortunately, they found his ship far, far short of Beagle Point. Well, hello there. Just because.
Fuel scooping.
Let's get the tank topped off and then go look at that ringed water world.
Fuel scooping complete.
And on the way, we'll get a look at this gas giant. I'm sure this escape pod plan was a cover. He just wanted all the food for himself. Logs say he ejected all the supplies. I mean, safely ejected all the supplies, but it wasn't like he just dumped them overboard and said, you know, have fun. Now that was the Apocalypse cult that did that. Alright, Class 3 gas giant, nothing exciting there. Steer clear of it. Lock onto you. Galaxy looks mighty different from this perspective. Now then, throttle is set in the smart range. Let's see if it actually decelerates and stays at a proper profile here. Looks like it is. Alright, good. And let's get in close because why not? It's a funky little ring system. System map.
System cartography.
.400 Kelvin, 1.95 G, 12.4 atmosphere. Atmosphere, 95.2 nitrogen, 3.3 water, 1.5 oxygen. And the ring system is... Oh, the A ring is just rocky. There's only one ring. Screenshot.
Capturing image.
System map.
System map.
This one might have something. Possibly. And we can get a scan on the gas giant while we're coming in. Me? How's the audio sounding to everybody? Hopefully I've got the settings right, but swapping out new software and everything, so there's always hiccups somewhere. Hopefully I'm not cutting in and out on the settings I got. Okay, good for me. That's good. Well, good for you. You know what I mean. Alright, Kobo, good for you too. Alright. Good, good. Glad to hear it, because previously I'd had settings where I would just start cutting in and out. I didn't quite have the right... Wonder why the star and crown keep vanishing. Huh, that's interesting. Is it time to re-up? Other than that, I got nothing. Unless it's the chat settings kind of saying, well, it's broadcasting, it's already on screen, so... I got nothing. Twitch does as Twitch does. High metal content, system map. Right? Old-fashioned way. And what do we have here? We've got terraforming candidate. Why? I guess technically I'm an astronaut candidate too, but it doesn't mean I'm getting up there anytime soon. How in the... Okay, gravity, 1.26 G. That's not bad. Surface temperature, 782 Kelvin. Gonna need to work on that. Surface pressure, 240.42 atmospheres. iMage, I pop into stream and I hear you say, why? Well, it would be because this is a terraforming candidate. Quote, unquote. Okay, atmosphere, 95.3 carbon dioxide, 3.7 nitrogen, 1% sulfur dioxide. What in here makes this a... You know what? I've given up trying to figure out what their sorting algorithm is here. Metallic and metal rich. Okay, they just want it because greed. Which is a perfectly cromulent reason to do anything, to be honest. Truth be told, it's probably why most things are done, but still. Resume course.
Locking system destination.
Let's go. And by the way, iMage, welcome to the show. How are you doing? Hope you had a good weekend, and hope you're having a decent day. Me, I'm just screaming in bafflement. Who would have thought that Ammonia World and the first alien was a terraforming candidate? Okay, point. So, which... Oh, serious. Duh. I was gonna ask, which megacorp do you think is closest to Weyland-Yutani? Well, that would be Sirius Corporation. Oh, okay. Glad you saw that. Still trying to avoid being spoilery on things. I don't know when I should start being spoilery on things. Oh, that's the problem. Resume course?
System destination locked.
Fuel scooping complete.
After this season is done, you can crack open Spoiler Town. You know, that's a good way to, that's a good bit of criteria right there.
Fuel scooping.
Well, nothing here except hydrogen, more hydrogen.
Fuel scooping complete.
The Red Media guys on YouTube posted their take on Discovery Orville topic. I was shocked to agree with them. You know, I've actually discovered I really like the Orville. I know I've said it before, but for those who haven't tuned in before, I really like the Orville. Yeah, it's got, you know, it's a little irreverent, but it's not like, I don't know. It's not Family Guy in space. And for that, I am happy. System map.
System map.
You want hydrogen? We got hydrogen. Resume course.
Locking next star system.
View sweeping.
I thought maybe I'd get lucky because I only saw 3 stars on the scopes, but no.
View sweeping complete.
And by the way, iMage, we're doing a little bit of an experiment here. We're heading out towards a nebula, out here at, what, 40,000 light years from Sol. Just kind of give it a spin and see if we can't spot any Guardian sites. At the very least, eliminate
View sweeping.
them from the list. Any chance of success? Pfft, hell if I know.
View sweeping complete.
But it doesn't look like this place has been scanned anytime recently for Guardian ruins. I mean, it's been surveyed. At least I'm pretty sure it's been surveyed. But that may have been back in the Asp Explorer days.
View sweeping. View sweeping complete.
That's where, okay, according to iMage, supposedly that's where the codex they want to add to the game would come into play. Finding out what's been looked at or not. That would be lovely. Being able to narrow down the spots that haven't been explored, and granted, there's a lot of that. According to EDSM, now I know not everybody uses EDSM, but still plenty of commanders that do. According to EDSM, it's going to take another 50,000 years to get the galaxy explored. There's only something like 0.000057% or some absolutely redonkulous number like that. So that's what's been explored. Oh, be granted payments to go look at something? Oh, that'd be nice. Have some company go, hey, we want you to survey this region. Here's a little bit of a bonus. That would make me happy. You know, some patron going, hey, we want you to look out. Hey, we can see the nebula. But yeah, some rich patron, some corporation, some philanthropist, some whatever. Go fill in the map. Go fill in this section of the map. I'd be down with that.
View sweeping.
Yeah, Kobo, we got some info. There was an Earth-like world in this sector. Go check it out.
View sweeping complete.
Ria Yoi. Ria bleh. A whole lot of snowballs, and one of them has rings for variety. Hey, Hank. Aw. He's all tuckered out. Next step, terraforming surveys. Go there and drop some probes. Yeah. Or like they did on LV-426, drop off some kind of ready-made terraforming equipment. They seem to have that. They've said they, oh, in the apocalyptic logs from, say, the Zerara, or from the Conflux, or from the Gap, they talk about how they dropped off some seed pods. Basically, little self-sustaining terraforming units. Okay, that first planet does look interesting. It's not an ammonia world, though. So, maybe not that interesting. But, hey, why not? I already locked onto it. So the technology does exist. Megaships would be needed for that if we're talking about the atmospheric processor towers. Well, yes, from the Aliens universe, they've got those great big refineries and atmospheric processors. But it sounded like the stuff that got dropped off in Elite was still self-sustaining kind of terraforming gear. Yeah, possibly hinting at gray goo seed pods, kind of self-replicating nanotechnology or something. Maybe not that invasive, but something. Wait, already, yeah. Okay, binary planets. This one's not my fault. This is just me getting locked into the gravity well. Fine. System map.
System cartography.
Yeah, not sure Frontier wants to open that particular door. You are correct. So maybe something a little less... I don't know. Less gray goo, but something else, some kind of self-manufacturing or self-sustaining long-term atmospheric processor. Then again, megaships were part of the expeditions, so... Kobo, it gives me an idea. Leave it there, take a carrier to Beagle Point. Okay, what have we got here? Have anything terraformable here? Yes, it is. No atmospheric pressure, or... Well, it's in the thousandths of an atmosphere if it is. 100% sulfur dioxide. Sure, why not? You're a terraforming candidate. Let's just spin that wheel. Resume course.
System destination locked.
Yeah, that leads... Well, maybe not that extreme, but... Leads to entire ships with shape-changing hulls and people. I don't know if it goes that extreme. Then again, if that's the case, I call dibs on 00 Quanta. And 1,000 bonus points for anybody that grabs that reference and runs with it. The higher the tech level, the more plastic physics tends to get. You're not inaccurate there. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
Alright, neutron boost incoming. System map.
System cartography.
Explored. If we can fill in the map here, it may revolutionize some of the travel to these regions. There a connection with the Neutron Highway and Guardian sites? You know, I don't believe so, but that doesn't mean there isn't one. Resume course.
Locking system destination.
172 light years, alright. No, the connection seems to be nebulas, other than the initial Guardian bubble out in those restricted sectors. Try that again.
Boost activated.
This is what I'm going by. Another neutron star. Well, we're just trucking along then, aren't we? System map.
System map.
Galaxy map.
Stellar cartography.
Blinkety hell. Okay, we're there. Huh. What's our altitude here, relatively speaking? Oh, okay, we're 500 light years beneath the rim, relatively speaking. Resume course.
Selecting next system en route.
This thing's kind of bouncing us around all over the place.
Warning. Frameshift drive operating.
And we're gonna get kicked out of that. Pull back into the again.
Boost activated.
That's better. We're in 38 light years. Hit it.
Preparing for jump. Leaving system. Interstellar velocity at maximum.
No, that's an interesting idea if there is a connection with the neutron
None
highway.
detected.
Then again, just...
Exploration data saved.
Thank you, Alex. Just filling in the map on neutron sites is good. Because while the game does have a built-in neutron plotter now, sometimes people want to go with a slightly different configuration on the neutron jumps. That neutron jump website at spansh.co.uk, it's good, but that one's actually much more tunable in terms of what do you want your jumps? It's a water world. So even if, I mean, since Elite has the built-in neutron plotter, which is good for most situations, being able to play with the tuning settings, so it's still good to have the neutron stars scanned into the map. That, and if you want to, I mean, getting to the core regions is fine with the neutron road, but this is getting out towards the rim. Yeah, more choices are always appreciated. Okay, terraforming candidate. 0.63 G, 0.06 atmospheres. 99.5% oxygen, nobody light a match. Match, it turns into a flamethrower. But no, being able to take the neutron highway out here to the rim and galaxy map.
Galaxy map.
I am a ways out there. We can find more neutron stars going out to here, even. Yeah, here's where we're heading, and honestly, I'm not sure that we're going to find anything, but... Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
But you don't strike it rich every time, and it does still fill out the map. Even if it shows you where they aren't at. Buddy. Good, Hank.
Fuel scoping.
System map.
System map.
Ended up accidentally brushing him a little bit with my foot as I was working the rudder here, and kind of gave the kitty wake-up sound. Kitty power-up. Kitty has exited sleep mode. Ah, Kitty has re-entered sleep mode. No, Kitty is not done charging yet. He's had a busy day, Hankin.
Fuel scoping.
Day's only half done. There's more Hankin to do. That's right. Needs more energy for his main snooze.
Fuel scoping complete.
Yep, he needs more power to complete the hankening. Hank Cam will happen as soon as I can figure out how to get a camera down there around my rudder pedals.
Fuel scoping complete.
Without making it look like a total fire trap or turn it into a more of a wiring trip hazard. It's the one thing I haven't figured out yet with this seat is how to arrange and organize all the cables. And believe me, I've got a few of them dangling here. That, and I'd also have to light the area up a little bit, otherwise you aren't seeing a thing. Oh, Hank, why must you be in such a cable tie doctorate?
Fuel scooping.
I need one of those.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System cartography.
Yep. Kobo, you and me both. Cable management is the bane of my existence. I'm still not 100% happy either with the placement on the wing monitors. IRL moves in the cockpit of an anaconda. Orion, you don't know how right you are. Though that looks positively god-tier organized compared to the crap I got hanging around here. System map.
System
Dare
map.
IMH, dare we hope for a system map orrery next update? Well, we can hope, but I don't think the I don't think we're going to get much in the way of hopes and dreams there. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
Kobo, building a partially water-cooled miniature ITX PC was interesting. Interesting neat or interesting God grant me... How did I put it? Last time I said, God grant me patience, because if you grant me strength, I'm going to destroy this piece of... 0.5 centimeter clearance on the GPU. Yep, there are some things that work on if you just get frustrated enough and go Hulk on it. There are some things that works for. For instance, trying to break loose some rusted up bolts. There are some things that does not work for, like trying to seat RAM properly, or getting cables around a certain bend.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System cartography.
Fuel scooping complete.
How far are we? 23 jumps. At least we'll make it today. Improper RAM for the win. IMage? Oh, the stories I could tell you. The stories you could probably tell me. And Kobo, yeah, I'd do it again for sure. Favorite PC? Nice. I've got a little USB hub loaded up with those ThinkGeek isolinear chips. Those little 8 or 16 gig isolinear RAM chips. Yeah, just zip drives. Not zip drives, thumb drives. Haven't used a zip drive in 15 years. System map.
System map.
Complete.
So does anybody remember jazz drives? Oh, back when we thought magnetic media was going to be the way to go. I remember I Omega. Looks like we got a water world here. Yeah, the mechanical zip drives, the jazz drive was even worse. That was like trying to make, I think they were trying to make 2 gigabyte floppies, basically. What is it with me and not being able to stop properly? At least we got the scan here. Terraforming candidate. 0.79 atmospheres, 0.77 G, 283 Kelvin. I think the rule of thumb is something like 360 Kelvin is where you want to be. Maybe 340. 76.9 nitrogen, 22.2 oxygen, 0.8 carbon dioxide. That's actually not too bad. And it does not appear to be rotational period, 1 day. Well, you don't see that very often. Mind if I, Kobo, mind if I post a pic of the inside of my PC? Nope, go right ahead. Resume course.
Selecting next system en route.
Pizza Hut is designing robot delivery vehicles with Toyota. Well. Alright, let's see here. Small but powerful. I'd click on it, but anything that I click on tends to just drop my bitrate through the floor. But I will save that. I will have a look later. Everybody else, feel free, please go ahead and have a look.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping.
Ah, what the hell, I'll give it a click and see what happens. So we're probably going to see a bitrate drop here in a moment, but nothing exciting happening, so... Well, looks like we're still good. Alright. Oh, that is tidy in there. That is nice. That's a lovely little setup you've got there, Kobo. Oh, what was it? It was a couple of cases ago. Actually, no, it was only one case ago. But I went with the idea of positive pressurization. That can work in a few environments, but in this case it didn't. And the hard drive... The hard drives were held in place with what was basically surgical tubing. Whoa, okay. And after a couple of years, the dust intruded on that, and you ended up with... My hard drives were being held in by rubber that had dry rot. Not what you'd call optimal. Resume course.
Locking system destination.
Really not much more to this system than that, is there?
Fuel scooping complete.
Yeah, very, very much suboptimal. That, and there were like 7 or 8 fans built into it, all blowing inwards. So, I mean, in theory, positive pressurization is a great idea. Keep dust out. In practice, what you're actually doing in even a moderately dusty environment is just blowing pressurized dust into everything. Powder coating can be cool. It's not very cool when it's on the inside of your machine.
Plot twist!
Fuel scooping.
Dejamatic, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the crew. Hope you enjoy your stay.
Complete.
If you know the IKEA Calyx shelving unit, see fits in one of those without touching the sides. Semi-familiar with it? That's impressive. I like that. Commander Heaven's run had for a while, had a shuttle case. Always really, really slick, but at the time it wasn't optimized towards upgrading very much because the components were all so small. Shuttle-chan, that was the name of that one. Basically had it done up to look like a little Enterprise D shuttle. Hi Flyer, hey, 07 to you too as well. You too as well. I'm getting space loopy. How are you doing? Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you're having a decent day today. Then again, as I've said in the past, who says, I hope you're having a shitty day? Who does that? What kind of jerk does that? Other than maybe Hank and Yuki. Hi, Mage. We often miss our loopy inoculations. Oh, tell it.
Fuel scooping.
Yeah, maybe we won't talk about that.
Fuel scooping complete.
System map.
System cartography.
I'm gonna let that one slide. A lot of gas giants. Rings, nothing spectacular. Alright, thanks for asking. Just had work the last couple weeks. Wasn't always able to join the stream. Well, no, I understand. Welcome back. No need to be sorry. No, I said work, not Hank. I repeated what you said, and he thought he heard Hank, 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 and so he just started thumping his tail.
Fuel scooping complete.
System map.
System map.
Now see, this is the sad part about the game. We think gas giants aren't spectacular after a while. Well, okay, they're still spectacular, just not from my personal criteria at the moment. Which is to say Earth-like, water-world, or ringed Earth-like, please. Or, as we approach this nebula, Guardian ruins, please. That would be nice. That would be lovely. System map.
System cartography.
See this? This isn't spectacular. Binary stars are always neat.
Complete.
Though binary at 100,000 light seconds just kind of looks like a distant dot. Multi-star systems are always neat to me, but not always something I want to stop and have a look at. How long did that stream from New Year's actually go? Well, it went for about 8 hours. And after about 7 hours, my voice started giving out, and I ended up sounding like Bale's Batman. So, had to call it off after 8 hours. Wanted to make it the full 12, but we'll build up to it. We'll do some strength training.
Fuel scooping.
Mage, I do wish oh so much that Braben had seeded the galaxy with interesting surprises. When a lone explorer finds it somehow, a little message pops up on the dash congratulating you.
Fuel scooping complete.
That would be amazing, Mage. And High Flyer, 8 hours is impressive in my eyes. Well, it's longer than I did any shift at the station, that's for sure. Resume course. Resume course.
System destination locked.
But no, there's streamers out there that can go... God, they do 24-hour streams, even 12-hour, 14, 17-hour streams. Two Flower. Discworld, yes. Some more water here. Flower, isn't that the skunk on Bambi? Been so long, I think so. Well, that's something. Now, let's look at you closer here. Doubtful it's an ammonia world, but still, it's a curious-looking planet.
Fuel scooping.
Such long streams are for the young. Hey.
Fuel scooping complete.
I am young, damn it. Terminus, is it live? Well, we're live right now. Hopefully, at least. Let's have a look here. I still function. Okay, so we aren't settling here anytime soon. Mostly because the 1300 atmospheres, but also because the atmosphere is 3.5% rock vapor. My app said you're offline. Well, your app tells terrible, terrible lies. Hi, Flyer. I'm in my mid-30s. I consider that young? Yep. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
I go by the average age of the streamer I see on Twitch. Somewhere just out of elementary or just before college. Harsh.
Fuel scooping.
Nothing here but more stars. I mean, it's neat and all, but... And I'm not trying to just say, oh, this is dull and not scan anything for boredom, but...
Fuel scooping.
I've got my name on the map in enough places. I'll leave other discoveries for others. In the meantime, we are 12 jumps out from the nebula, and then we can start surveying for Guardian sites. Hopefully. I mean, I'll be surprised if they came out this far, but at the same time, I wouldn't be terribly surprised if they came out this far. Guardians seem to have a much wider range than humans did.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System map.
Well, we do have a Guardian detector.
Fuel scooping complete.
We can actually spot Guardian sites within 1,000 light seconds, or we can get a Guardian sight outside of 1,000 light seconds if we scan the planet and we don't have it targeted. Or if we look at the planet but don't have it targeted. At least according to what I'm seeing here on the Canon research page.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping.
System map.
complete.
System cartography.
No promises that I'll actually find any Guardian room, but it'd be nice to see on stream. And for those that are just coming in, let me repaste here. After I get the horn honked.
Fuel scooping.
Alright, so here is Canon Research's datasheet so far on the Guardian ruins. Resume course.
Locking next star system.
Fuel scooping complete.
And if we get clear of the star's glare, there ought to be a nebula visible. Otherwise, I've been flying in the wrong damn direction this whole time. Oh good, there's a nebula there. We're still heading in the right direction.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
Fuel scooping complete.
System map.
Fuel scooping.
Well, a whole heap and helping and nothing right here.
Fuel scooping complete.
Continuing on. Fly away. Fly fly away. Fly fly. Trying to figure out what kind of character that sounds like. I could have sworn I've heard that name before. Or maybe it's just the sound somebody makes when they fall off a cliff in a Looney Tunes cartoon. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Speaking of, well, Looney Tunes and associated cartoons, anybody hear the big news that Animaniacs is coming back? I think 2 new seasons. Original cast, Pinky and the Brain, everything. Maurice LaMarche put out an announcement about it, while at the same time imitating Orson Welles. Alright, we're getting kind of close to the nebula, so let's see.
Scooping.
Oh, we aren't going to get anything here. I was going to say we're getting kind of close to the nebula. Let's start scanning some of the planets. Well, that only works if there are planets. Funny thing, that. Vertex, hey, I'm sure you explained it before, but what are you curious about? The nebula? Yeah, that link I posted just above, it's from Canon Research. And basically, it's where they said you could possibly find Guardian ruins. Now, the Guardians have... Alex, I wasn't talking to you. The Guardians have been scattered all around the bubble. You can see them in, well, not just the bubble. They've got areas out in the conflux, out in the gap, out near the core. They've got a massive amount of territory that they covered where you can find their sites. So I'm thinking maybe, you know, at the very least, might have a shot at finding some around here in this nebula. They seem to concentrate on nebula
Fuel
areas.
scooping.
System map.
System cartography.
So it seems to be multi-star systems with
Scooping complete.
binary planets, and this might actually count. So what they said was if you sweep your nose over stars and planets out past 1,000 light seconds, Guardian ruins there, you can see them. Resume course.
Selecting next destination.
Athador, no problem, no problem. How is everybody? Well, I'm doing all right. Seems that everybody's having a decent day today. How are you doing? How's your weekend? We're just poking around here towards this nebula out in the middle of nowhere. Cold, but a good weekend other than that. That tends to happen in the winter.
Fuel scooping.
Well, all we got here is the star.
Fuel scooping.
I was listening in the car and stopped to write something. Didn't go through, I think. Don't! The only way to detect the ruins is to get a visual on them? Kinda, sorta. I mean, the sensors will detect out beyond 1,000 light seconds, but yeah, other than that, there's certain criteria. Yeah, there's certain kinds of planets here. Let's see here. Systems often contain large numbers of bodies, often multiple stars and dwarf stars, though not always. Planet radius is between 1,000 and 3,000 kilometers. Surface temperature is between 180 and 310 Kelvin. And they are found on rocky or high metal content worlds. So that's the quick and dirty rundown on it.
Fuel scooping.
System map.
System map.
Fuel scooping complete.
This may actually, I mean, got a lot of bodies, some binary planets, a lot of moons. So if we were to scope around here, they were around here, then we ought to be able to pick them up. No guarantee, but we're getting close to the nebula. And nothing showing up within 1,000 light seconds on the scanners here, so keep on moving. The official wizard, afternoon, Commander. While doing a tourist contract, I found a non-human signal source with a threat level of 10? I have never seen threat level 10. I've heard of 7. 7 was the previous high, as far as I know. You found a threat level 10? Activating nope drive. Nope factor, screw this. System map.
System cartography.
I've never seen anything that high. Resume course.
Locking system destination.
Warning. Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive
Boost activated.
That may be a new type of Thargoid ship. There have been hyperdictions in the bubble now. Around 100 light years from Narvert, out where the CG is at. Oh, one jump left, and then our surveying begins in earnest. And then we point our nose back towards the bubble and we haul ass. Xeno detector and blocker, but not sure what they're for. So a Xeno detector, a Xeno scanner, if you get close, if you are if you are nose to nose with the Thargoid ship, you can activate the scanner, and it's like a kill warrant scanner, except it tells you what type of ship you're facing. And a Xeno blocker, that's for combat if he decides to fire off a shutdown pulse. What you need to do is, if you hear that they're building up a shutdown pulse, you mash down on the button and you try to hold that thing as long as you can until the system capacitor runs out after the pulse passes over you, and it should block their shutdown. Only took me a few tries to get that one right. I thought that you had to hold it and then release it when the pulse hit. No, no, no. You just hold down until it runs out of power. Galaxy map.
Displaying map.
We aren't going to find anything here. I guess we start looking around the local area here. System map.
System cartography.
Yep, this place has been discovered, but I don't know when it was discovered. I mean, this was probably discovered out during the great age of Asp explorers, when they were the king of exploration. And that would have been before the time that Ram-Ta modified our sensors in order to just detect Guardian runes. So, first off, though, we need to find something with some planets. System map.
System map.
This holds more promise. This holds moons. Holds moons and moons with moons. Damn it, Moon. Alright. First, check the star here. Yep, discovered. So now we just put our nose on these things, basically. Did you make any progress on getting an official community set up? I remember you mentioning it during the Friday stream. I've not. When I haven't been streaming, I've been trying to attend to other stuff. Just hasn't quite gotten around to it yet. One moment on that vertex, and I'll let you see. Galaxy map.
Displaying map.
So here's where I am right now. If that's galactic north, here's the core, and here be the bubble. You're free this evening. Unfortunately, I'm not. But ding me afterwards. Leave a message, something, and we will try to hammer something out. Also, look at this view now. So if there are Guardian runes, they should show up on the local data if you're within 1,000 light seconds, as far as I know. And then you can pick them up visually, well, as long as you don't have that planet locked on. For instance, I've got this locked on now. But if I don't, and it has Guardian runes, and it's out past 1,000 light seconds, from what I'm reading on the site, I ought to be able to lock on. In the meantime, continuing on, let's head deeper into the nebula. K3 class star. Might have something here. I mean, a K-class star is a little bit cooler than our sun, but I've seen Earth-likes around them before, so don't rule anything out. Unless there's no planets, then you can rule that out. Only thing there might be anything of is right here. Lock onto the planet and see if the moon picks up anything visually.
View scoping.
And then since we're just, 65 light seconds away from the 1,000 light second barrier, may as well just close in. Doesn't look like there's anything here. So we're going to redo the map here. That way we've got all of the... That way we can start narrowing stuff down so we aren't crossing our own tracks here. And keep in mind, I have no idea if this is going to yield anything, but we're here, it's a nebula, and let's see if we can't find stuff that fits the criteria. But with hyperdictions going on in the bubble, we're going to be heading back real quick. Okay, nothing landable here, so we wouldn't find any guardian sites. Got to be landable too, of course.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
System map.
System map.
Take a wild guess and assume we aren't going to find any planets here. Plenty of other planets here to take a crack at.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
I don't think we're going to need the scoop here for a while, so let's just pull that. Hank, what you doing down there? Apparently Hank is having a dream. Because he's kind of kicking at my legs with his back legs. Got his claws out, so yeah, I think he's having a dream where he's happily eviscerating something. Because cat, of course. System map?
System cartography.
Right, what have we got here? Yeah, we need a Hank cam. I know it, I know it. So a few possible candidates, maybe, question mark? Radius has got to be somewhere between 1,000 and 3,000 kilometers, so not there. 4,000. Possibly. Get a lock on it and see. So it fits the size criteria. And then we'll do a quick pan around after we get the scan here and see if we can't see something on the other planets at the B star. And again, we're just going to go zooming past because I can't seem to keep my hands off the throttle. Impatience and archaeology. Not a good combination, especially with ready access to dynamite. Okay, what are our... here? Surface temperature is between 180 and 310. Well, this one's only 156. That ain't gonna work. And if I had to make a guess, the surface temperature on these is gonna be way lower. The old cover of I Can't Drive Warp 5.5. Oh. Clever. I see what you did there. Vertex, anyone ever tell you have a superb radio voice? As he mangles that horribly. Also +1 on the Hank cam. How'd the vet go? Well, Hank is still hankin'. Couple of scratches on his nose from where he and Yuki have been kind of getting into it. In fact, they now have a separate category at the clinic for cut on nose, and then in parentheses, Hank or Yuki, for cause. Hank is, well, he's a Hank. Basically, he kind of thinks he's really enthusiastic. He is still technically a kitten. And he is really enthusiastic, and he will go up to Yuki and go, "Friend!" and try to snuggle her and cuddle her and groom her, and she is like, "Get the hell off me, you..." And then she'll take a swing at him. Then Hank will go, "Why'd you do that?" "Oh, we're playing, I getcha." And then he'll take a swing back at her. And that's where you run into trouble. Because Hank, these paws were on a bear, he'd knock every fish out of a stream for 10 miles. With one swing of his mighty paw. And we've just got stars here. There you go. But now we gotta take his Hankness back for various other things, vaccinations, etc. His annual. That was just apparently a little... I didn't get the timing right. If I'd scheduled a little bit later, then I'd be overdue for certain shots, and if I scheduled it earlier, then I'd be, overdue. Yeah. The wonders of pet ownership. What do we have here? Got a few, possibly. 100, 724, 6. couple that may possibly fit the criteria. Go have a look at this one. Reminds me of my past roommate's cats. What happened with them, Vertex? I wish I could get a good reading on, well, a good feel for what accurate temperatures would be. Between 180 and 310 Kelvin. That's honestly not that big a range. Now's about the time I wish I'd sprung for the long-range scanners instead of the fast scanners. And 157 Kelvin. So it does fit just within the... It fits... Wait, no. 157 Kelvin. We're 30 degrees short. Yeah, too bad I can't fit both. There's a bunch of stuff out here. Let's see what... Oh, that's just the... That's the other stuff here. Right, let's get these other planets. Not picking anything up. They are a ways out. Let's see here. One cat was named Umbreon, fully black with devilish yellow eyes, and was a serious grouch. Hated cuddles, and would sit menacingly in dark shadows around the house. My other roommate got a kitten who would try to play with him, but he would have none of it, so they'd be constantly running around tearing the house apart. I am familiar with this. Stu, hi there. Hope you had a good weekend. How are you doing today? Nope, that won't fit. Plenty of stuff here to examine. I guess I'm going to try to move around this curve here. Galaxy map.
Stellar cartography.
Just showing a K8. But it's possible there's more than one star there anyway, so... Keep on searching. I mean, if we do find Guardian Ruins, then that's a hell of a thing. I think that'd be the first instance of Guardian Ruins out past the core. Still trying to get to Sag A? Keep on going, you'll get there. Me, I was thinking about going to Beagle Point, and I was thinking about going to the far rim, and then I got reports that Thargoids are starting to hyperdict within the bubble, and all those plans went right out the airlock. Now I'm just getting a scan on some of these and going from there. That's... I see that. These worlds haven't been scanned at all. It's a 33. Right, let's look at something else. Let's see. And it's not picking up any sites on visual, so probably not. Basically, for those keeping track at home, this would be a lot like what Reliant's mission was in Star Trek II. Trying to find a needle in a stack of needles. Hopefully we don't get hijacked by Ricardo Montalban, though. Let's see, you... These two qualify, possibly. Just go in quick and get a scan, see if we can't find anything there. Not glorious, it's not glamorous, and it's not too terribly exciting, but holy damn, my hat's off to the people that I can actually do this in Elite for just filling out the map. That's dedication. I keep chopping my throttle because I don't want to go zooming past again. Six 6,000 light seconds are... System map.
System map.
See what the other criteria were on this one. Doesn't fit the surface temperature. Means these are most definitely not going to fit the surface temperature. That's a brown dwarf. Nope, not even going to bother with that one. Yeah, it would be amazing if I found a ruin. Red dwarf. Doubtful, but... Actually, let's filter this a little bit more. Let's... An M-class red dwarf. Class. Alright, this may help. Filter by star class, and then we try to get out a lot of the false. Try to narrow it down a bit more. I just can't believe that it'd be around a red dwarf star. Especially with those surface requirements. All right. 42 light seconds. 7,000 kilometers. That's not going to work. Here's another K-class coming up. So basically, for those tuning in, I've found a nebula on the far side of the core, out towards the galactic, the eastern rim. If you look at the galaxy from, if Beagle Point is direct north, then yeah, that's the eastern rim. And I'm following the criteria on Canon Research Group's page for finding Guardian ruins. They seem to be around nebulas. So we're checking out all the stars in this fairly isolated point of space. See what we can see. That might be a thing. Got some possible candidates here. The orbital dynamics of trinary worlds this close to a star. That's a thing. Okay, 5,700 kilometers. Too big. Too big. Too big. Surface temperature there, and too hot. This one we might have a little bit more luck with. Let's get pointed off in the proper direction here. Well, we're definitely still in the nebula. Not that there was any doubt of that, but... oh, it's a beautiful sight. Alright, starting to get the scan off the gas giant at around 850 light seconds. Range. System map.
System cartography.
You guys like Star Trek Discovery? I'm trying to figure out my thoughts on that one. And I don't want to be all spoilery. iMage had a good idea that, you know, after the first season is done, then we can open up the spoilery stuff, but I'm trying to like it. There's still some stuff that makes me go, what? Why did they even change that? What's their plan? We'll see what happens as things continue. I mean, I'm partially on board. More on board than not, I suppose. Okay, 166 Kelvin, too cold. 54, and moving out, these guys are also going to be... these guys just don't fit in the right temperature range. Needs to be 180 to 310. You look like you might... what are you, G-class star? That might have some possibility to it. Or at least it'll be a little bit different from red dwarfs and K-class stars. So far I've not seen any planets that fit the bill. They're all either a little too hot, a little too cold, a little too small, a little too big, and so on and so forth. So far I've been trying to shoot for the moon, and all I've gotten is moldy green cheese so far. Well, so much for this one. This is all we got here. We'll range out a bit and see what find here. Been here? I've been here. Nope. Doesn't necessarily have to be in a nebula. I think it can be around one too. Opens up the options a bit more. A-class star has a pretty wide temperature band on it, so... just got 386 jumps to go. Stu, if you have an auto repair unit, go for the neutron fields. They are slightly off-center, but at 1100 light years up and 1100 light years down. I'll show on the galaxy map here in a moment. But the neutron fields are pretty damn extensive. Well, damn it. Okay, galaxy map. Alright, so here's the galaxy. But at Here you can see on the coordinate chart. Like this says 15,000, negative 1150, 25,000. At negative 1100 to negative 2100, and at 1100 to positive 2100 or so, that is 1,000 light-year range above and below the galactic rim that is loaded with neutron stars. Now, on a direct path from between the core and the bubble, you don't see that. But if you go off to the side a little ways, to either way, you've got the eastern and the western neutron fields. They are 1,100 to 2,100 light years above and below the rim. It's just something I've discovered, saw some pages detailing it. I've been able to, I'm out, like I said, I'm out here, and I was able to find a lot of that region. Get back inside. I'm ranging a little far. Get back inside the nebula a bit. Another K-class, why not? But that's the route I intend to take home, back to the bubble. Alright, let's kick in the scoop again. Also a good way to get to and from Colonia, because that way is nothing but neutron stars. Good afternoon, Vox. How are you doing? Hope your weekend was decent. Ah, son of a, I've already been here. And I've already been there because it says none instead of unexplored. Okay, that's why I had things on the previous track, but... Got my new speakers set up on my PC. Excellent. Glad to hear that. Let's see. For K-Class, why not? Have I been here? I've not. Now the neighbor knows every time I get a kill. Nope, we're just hunting Guardian sites. Coming up goose eggs so far, but who knows? Also trying to avoid hitting a Hank with rudder pedals, which isn't always easy. Just loves being curled up down there. Well, there's only one option here, and it's too big. Radius has to be between 1,000 and 3,000. Only thing landable, too. Okay. Scoop right there. Let's see what else. About tired of K-class stars, but keep on going. If you look on the galaxy map over at EDSM.net, I love all the different regional names, and I think this one is... We're in a region called the Torment, because all it is just really, really unremarkable, just a really dull area of space. Snowballs and dwarf stars. Okay, I've got other star types mapped out here. There's an A-class star. And it's unknown, so I haven't been there. Okay, that's a bonus.
Scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
We'll get as much mapped out as we can in the next, well, until the end of the show. And then after that, it is time to point my nose back at the bubble and put the hammer down. System map.
System map.
The Torment, huh? Oh. It ain't inaccurate. Yeah, probably. Most likely. With all the stuff going on there now with, well, like I said, with Thargoid activity increasing, now you get interdictions in the bubble? Hyperdiction in the bubble? Well,
Fuel scooping.
things are going to heat up. And whether or not I directly fight Thargoids, it's gonna be... There's gonna be plenty of opportunity there. I mean, it may be possible they start attacking stations in the bubble. And wouldn't that just be a great big kick in the butt? I think their next target, though, is going to be Maya. And then after that, then we're going to see some trouble.
Fuel scooping.
Official Wizard, running community missions today, getting harder to source indium. Yeah.
Scooping complete.
Yep. And nothing here. Okay. Region's a little bit bigger than it made out to be. Yeah, community goals, they always drain the local resources real quick. Just be careful out there. I've heard that's where the hyperdictions are happening around the CG systems. Well, we might have something. Not a whole lot, but it's better than what we had to work with. Okay. dimensions. That's possible. At least the sizes are right on these three. No idea whether the temperature range fits.
Complete.
Alright. Yeah, no, wait. System map.
System cartography.
That's better. Okay. So the size is right. Now we just got to see if the temperature range fits. I should have sprung for long-range scanners, but I didn't know I was going to be doing this kind of work, so... no. 3,700 light seconds of a G-class star. I want to say that it's actually going to be way too cold. But I won't know until I actually get some empirical data on it. Trying to narrow down my estimation window here. And I'm not going to be able to get any kind of scan on the parent body much closer than I am the moon here, so... Alright, let's drop down to normal speed. And not go zooming past Alex. There we go. System map.
System map.
Okay, temperature range, yeah, 76 Kelvin. Nope. Basically, we're looking for something maybe in, well, around a G-class star. Around the orbital range of Mars, perhaps? So at about 1,000 light seconds. Thereabouts. Of course, this is all just me speculating until I can actually find some decent numbers to work with, but 180 to 310 Kelvin. That's gotta be. I mean, with a G-class star, certainly. At 500 light seconds, you're in, you know, the Goldilocks zone for Earth. Anything inside of that's going to be overheated like Venus. "24 new objects." And because Frontier would just love to screw with me, I bet. 46,000 light seconds. Wait. Let's see here. 953 kilometers. What are you? You are a K-class star. So before I go zooming off into the great beyond here, I'm pretty sure these are too far out. This one is the only possibility. And that is still too small. So, moving along. Getting things narrowed down a little. Lock on. Another G-class star.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Oh, hello, Yuki. The little miss has woken up. And, of course, Hank is curious now as to what she's doing. Because Hank. You don't want to help me find planets anymore, buddy? Some ship's cat you are. System map.
System cartography.
Okay, that's at 1,000 light seconds, and size 400, no. Nope. Okay, this is an interesting case. Because there you've got a brown dwarf star. But still nothing. D-class over here, 42 light years. And again, 42 light years, being able to just cross that in the blink of an eye. Again, new appreciation for how things are supposed to be done, writers notwithstanding, in Star Trek, given that Warp 9 is something like 1,500 times the speed of light, so... Super Cruise! Try covering 42 light years in Super Cruise and tell me how it goes. Okay, we've got a primary star. No secondaries. Got an Earth-like. Sorry, been spotted, but hey, why not? Let's see here. 400 kilometers. No. 469. No. 55. Nope. Yeah. Yeah, Vox. 1400C. You beat that on the way to Hutton. Okay, we might have something here. Get out to... Yeah, in the TNG scale, Warp 9 is something like 1,500 times the speed of light. That's it.
Fuel scooping complete.
Okay, I had what I thought was a really weird trace for a moment. Yeah, I'd rather jump direct to Hutton as well. Please put back in the old beacon system. Well, at the very least, we're getting a scan on an Earth-like. An Earth-like in a nebula, that would be a beautiful view. None of those are still registering anything either. Annoying. Another A-class star here, unknown. One more try, let's see what happens. And on that disappointing bombshell, I think we're gonna have to call it for the day. It's getting close to quitting time, and unfortunately, I've got some real-world stuff to take care of. World. Anyway, grumbles aside, thank you so much for coming out and spending time with me. I'm Mr. Moo, space sci-fi variety streamer, though lately just Elite Dangerous and some really long exploration journeys. But I will be back tomorrow, the usual time, the usual place. Though, I don't know, I may come in here later tonight, try to wrap up some scanning, and then we're heading back towards Narford. We're getting on the horse, and we are heading back to Narford as fast as we can. Take care, everybody. Always a pleasure to talk to people. Always a pleasure to meet new people. Always a pleasure, period. Take care. Fly safe, and if you can't fly safe, fly dangerous. If you can't fly safe or fly dangerous, let's see here, what's a good one? Well, try flying with a cat. Then you'll have dangerous and all kinds of other stuff going on. Take care, everybody. Have a good day. I will see you again tomorrow.